Wow. That was cool. The story. You are Ren, a lone hunter banished to the Forsaken Lands. Blighted by the Black Rot, you must slay the unslayable. The towering, terrifying behemoths must perish to save yourself and rid the land of the curse that turns all affected people into crazed monsters. On the way, you will be aided by the Trapper, a towering knight with a secret past, and a mysterious entity who will guide you to the Forsaken Wasteland to fulfill your destiny. Find the ancient weapons forged by a lost race of craftsmen, return them to their most powerful state, slay the behemoths in epic confrontations, and rescue your lands from the Black Rot. On the way, you will be confronted by corrupted enemies intent on taking you down. Use knives, swords, axes, shields, bows, and rage to take down these Black Rot infected psychopaths. Welcome to the Forsaken Lands. Welcome to the world of behemoths. The graphics. This review is based on the MetaQuest 3 version of the game that I had access to. I will be doing a comparison video with the Steam VR version as soon as I can get my hands on it. Now, that is out of the way. The graphics are okay-ish. I've been playing the launch day version of the game, and in some places it looks incredible. In others, not so much. I've had missing textures and textures popping in a couple of seconds after loading into an area. The areas you traverse are quite generic. Ruined castles, shattered battlements, darkened tombs, and snow-covered fields. They all look quite nice, but, and I'll get back to that later. The game is by the same people who did Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, so the enemies have that same cel-shaded style animation, which I don't mind. Close up, they lack detail, which I thought was a bit disappointing. The daggers, bows, swords, and axes you have access to all look good with signs of wear and tear, especially on bladed weapons where they are scratched and notched from combat. Seeing the towering behemoths for the first time is very cool. You glimpse Shacklehide, the first behemoth you face, through a snow-covered field shrouded in mist. The size is impressive, but unfortunately you have to tackle him close up, and that reduces the graphical impact of fighting a towering monster. I think with the recent release of the excellent Batman Arkham Shadow, Metro Awakening, and the Quest 3 overhaul of Asgard's Wrath 2, Behemoth's graphics are okay, but just don't cut the mustard anymore. The audio. As is to be expected by a prolific developer like Skydance, the audio is excellent. The cutscenes are well delivered, if a bit cheesy. Your enemies scream out as you cut them down, and the story is well told. The music in the background is well done and builds to a crescendo when facing off against multiple enemies or one of the terrifying behemoths. The audio is a highlight of this game. The gameplay. Trailers for Behemoth concentrated on the violent, crunchy combat, and this is what you will mostly spend your time doing. All weapons have weight and momentum. Parry a sword strike at the correct time, and your foe will stagger back, opening them up for a killer blow. You have limited health and stamina. Swing your sword like a whirling dervish, and you will soon tire and leave yourself open to attack. Daggers can be flung at unarmed enemies' heads with abandon. A piercing arrow will cause a foe to stagger realistically, and you can punch an enemy's head off with a well-timed blow when under the influence of your strength ability. Use axes to break down shields and armor, then attack with your bow or sword to dispatch your foe with style. There are many mini-boss battles that will require strategy and timing, but on the most part, you will be facing off against a horde of lesser enemies that you can play with to your heart's content. You'll be climbing, grappling, swinging, traversing, and for the most part, it is very well done. Much better than the slightly disappointing Ember Souls. The grappling hook is a highlight of this game. Use it to traverse the terrain, and later on, with upgrades, it can be used in combat and is very satisfying. Think Batman's grapple hook, but a bit more lethal. There are secrets and collectibles, so that's me happy. Most of them are hidden behind simple puzzles that utilize your abilities to solve, and each map has plenty of these and will tell you on the map how many you have found. Your skills and abilities upgrade as you play the game, from health and stamina to building better weapons, there is a definite progression tree, and I quite liked this aspect. Now, onto the Behemoths, the real reason you are here. I've played the game for about 6 hours and have taken down the first Behemoth called Shacklehide. It's a pretty generic boss battle, work out his weak points, exploit them, avoid his attacks, rinse and repeat. The physical aspect is quite well done. You will have to use the dash ability to avoid attacks, grapple hook to remove armor, and various weapons to do damage. But I do have a problem with the encounters, which I will talk about in my conclusion. Before I get to my conclusion, please hit the like button. The algorithm loves the likes. Please also subscribe and join my channel membership for perks and giveaways. Thanks. Conclusion. Behemoth has been a highly anticipated game since the teaser trailer dropped and people were intrigued by the towering monsters of the Forsaken Land. The idea of a Shadow of the Colossus game in VR had everyone excited. In reality, fighting against Shacklehide was a frustrating and buggy experience. It is hard to understand the immense scale of the Behemoth when you're trying to fight him within the limited range of your grappling hook. I had multiple cases of him floating away with disjointed legs, many insta-deaths, and in the end I nearly gave up. I managed to defeat him to progress the game, but the whole idea of Behemoth was, for me, fighting Behemoths. And fighting Shacklehide just wasn't any fun. Maybe fighting the other two Behemoths, Night Scraper and Dreadstag, will be more interesting, but I didn't manage to get that far due to the limited time available to me. The rest of the game is okay. It looks pretty enough. The enemies are varied, if a bit dumb. The mini-bosses were fun, and I liked the progression tree and collectibles. But for me, the whole premise of the game was fighting Behemoths, and if my encounter with Shacklehide is anything to go by, this falls at the first hurdle. Bored. As always though, what do you think? Are you excited by the idea of fighting humongous behemoths? Do you want a Shadow of the Colossus game in VR? Or are you a bit underwhelmed by this hype? You know the drill. Get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. The algorithm loves the likes. If you loved this content, please subscribe and join my channel membership like these lovely people did. You get custom badges, emojis, and an exclusive members-only channel on my Discord. If you want to watch more content from me, you can click here or here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.